That one right there made me the greatest player of all time.
For
That's
so
what
many
I felt.
reasons.
I was super ecstatic to win one for Cleveland because of the 52-year drought. Like, I was ecstatic. Like, obviously, I showed that the first wave of emotion was when everyone saw me crying. Like, that was all for 52 years of everything in sports going on in Cleveland. And then after I stopped, I was like, that one right there made you the greatest player of all time. You know, everybody was just talking how they were the greatest team of all time. Like, they was the greatest team ever assembled. And for us to come back, you know, the way we came back in that fashion, I was like, you did something special. That's probably one of the only times in my career I felt like, oh shit, like you did something special. I haven't really had time to really like sit back and think, but that was a moment.
Crazy.
What's up, everyone? There was an interesting moment during yesterday's game in Cleveland that sparked a lot of discussion afterward. With LeBron James possibly appearing in Cleveland for the final time as an active player, attention naturally turned to how his return was received and how current Cavaliers players view his legacy. After the game, a courtside interview took place with Donovan Mitchell and his teammate Jalen Tyson. The interviewer asked Donovan Mitchell about LeBron James's impact on the city of Cleveland, the tribute he received, and what he has meant to the franchise over the years. Before Mitchell could answer, Jalen Tyson interjected with a brief but noticeable comment saying, "This is Donovan Mitchell's city now." Immediately after that, Donovan Mitchell did respond and spoke respectfully about LeBron James. He acknowledged LeBron's contributions, credited him with laying the foundation for basketball in Cleveland, and showed appreciation for what LeBron accomplished during his time with the Cavaliers. That part is important to emphasize because Mitchell's response was measured and respectful. Jalen Tyson's comment, however, stood out because it reflected a broader reality in professional sports. Teams and cities move forward, eras change. Players who once defined a franchise eventually give way to new leaders, and fan focus naturally shifts to the present. Before continuing, it's also worth mentioning the tribute LeBron received during the game. Cleveland acknowledged his career and his championship contribution to the city. During that moment, LeBron appeared emotional. Some viewers interpreted it as a genuine response to returning to where his NBA journey began, while others questioned it. Ultimately, emotions during moments like that are personal, and reactions will naturally vary among fans. Now, the broader discussion here isn't just about one comment or one reaction. It's about how legacy, respect, and transition are handled in the NBA. Over the years, there has been ongoing debate about how LeBron James positions himself within basketball history, especially in comparison to players who came before him. Much of this debate centers on how players talk about greatness and how they acknowledged past generations. Michael Jordan is often cited as an example of how a superstar handled questions about being the greatest of all time. When asked, Jordan frequently deflected the label, explaining that he never played against earlier legends and therefore couldn't fairly compare himself to them. He often mentioned players like Bill Russell, Jerry West, and others with respect, emphasizing that every era contributed to the evolution of the game. LeBron James, by contrast, has been more direct in expressing how he views his own.
No, because I think that's something that I really can't say can be established. Each one of us playing at different eras, with different teams, with different levels of success, and to compare all of them and say one's better than the next, it's an unfair justice to the art or to the artists. You know, being that Magic Johnson, Wilt Chamberlain, all the guys before me were the artists of this game of basketball, and we've all learned from them, and we've improved the picture to a certain extent. And to say that one improvement is better than all of it, it's an unfair assessment.
You've been saying you can't wait till 70's over because the media will finally get off your back. Realistically, with the playoffs right around the corner, you think we're going to go away?
At least we got a couple weeks, you know, which is probably the biggest breather we've had in a while. So,
including delivering a championship that ended a long drought. But today, the franchise belongs to its current leader, Donovan Mitchell. That reality exists across sports. Former stars are honored for what they did, but they are no longer the face of the team. Cities don't stay frozen in time, they evolve. There has also been discussion about how LeBron's on-court approach late in his career affects perception. As a veteran with heavy mileage, he manages his energy carefully. Offensively, he still contributes at a high level, but defensively, his effort is more selective. This is not uncommon for players at this stage of their careers, but it does contrast with how fans remember players like Jordan and Kobe, who were often praised for relentless effort even in their final seasons. Michael Jordan's last season in Washington, for example, featured plenty of difficult nights statistically, but he played all 82 games and remained fully engaged. Kobe Bryant, despite physical decline, was widely viewed as giving maximum effort during his farewell season. Those images remain powerful in shaping public memory. LeBron's career, however, is unfolding real time. Fans are watching the aging process rather than remembering it through highlights. That makes evaluation harsher and more immediate. Another factor influencing perception is LeBron's career path. He played for multiple franchises, joined other elite players to pursue championships, and exercised a high degree of control over his career decisions. From a modern NBA perspective, this approach is increasingly common. From a traditional perspective, it creates a different relationship between player and city. Michael Jordan spent the core of his career with one franchise. That continuity strengthened the emotional bond between player and city. LeBron's legacy is broader, but less concentrated in one place. Because of this, reactions to him vary depending on perspective. Some fans view him as one of the most accomplished and influential players in league history. Others feel less emotionally connected, especially when comparing him to stars who stayed with one team throughout their primes. In the end, Jalen Tyson's comment wasn't about diminishing LeBron James. It was about acknowledging the present. Cleveland today belongs to Donovan Mitchell. LeBron's era there is part of history. As for respect, it often reflects behavior over time, how players speak about the past, how they carry themselves, and how they compete late in their careers. Different players earn respect in different ways, and fans respond accordingly. LeBron James will ultimately be remembered as one of the most impactful players the NBA has ever seen. His legacy includes championships, records, longevity, and influence far beyond the court. How fans interpret that legacy will depend on what they value most: loyalty, humility, dominance, longevity, or cultural impact. That conversation will continue long after his career ends. As always, feel free to share your thoughts. How did you interpret Jalen Tyson's comment? Do you think LeBron's legacy is viewed differently because of how he's spoken about greatness and navigated his career?
Another important layer to this conversation is how modern players relate to legacy compared to previous generations. The NBA today is far more player-driven, media-driven, and brand-driven than it was during the eras of Michael Jordan or even Kobe Bryant. Social media, podcast, player-owned media platforms, and constant online discourse have changed how players communicate their thoughts about greatness and history. LeBron James has been at the center of this evolution. He is one of the first superstars to fully embrace direct communication with fans and media through multiple channels. While this transparency has allowed him to shape his narrative more actively, it has also exposed him to greater scrutiny. Statements that might have once been confined to locker rooms or private conversations are now public and permanent. Because of this, comparisons between LeBron and earlier legends often feel less forgiving. Past players benefited from limited access and controlled messaging. Their words were filtered through traditional media, while LeBron speaks for himself in real time. That difference alone shapes how fans interpret confidence versus humility. This shift also influences how younger players approach established stars. Players entering the league today grew up watching LeBron dominate the NBA for 2 decades. To them, he is both a legend and a contemporary. That dual status creates a unique dynamic. Respect exists, but it is expressed differently than it was in previous eras, when players openly deferred to legends who had already retired. Jalen Tyson's comment fits within this modern context. It wasn't framed as an attack or dismissal. It was a recognition that the Cavaliers' identity now belongs to their current leader. In today's NBA, that type of statement is more common and more accepted. Players are expected to assert confidence in themselves and their teammates. Donovan Mitchell's response reinforced this balance. He acknowledged LeBron's impact while also accepting his role as the present face of the franchise. That combination of respect for the past and ownership of the present reflects how teams manage transitions in today's league. Fan reactions to these moments often reveal generational differences as well. Older fans may expect overt reverence toward past legends, while younger fans are more comfortable with directness and forward-looking statements. Neither perspective is inherently right or wrong. They simply reflect different values shaped by different eras. Another factor influencing perception is how fans interpret effort and leadership late in a career. Veterans often conserve energy strategically, focusing on moments that matter most. However, when a player of LeBron's stature does this, it becomes a talking point rather than a footnote. Expectations remain tied to peak performance, even when circumstances change. This is where memory plays a powerful role. Fans remember Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant through iconic moments rather than full-season realities. Their final years are remembered for symbolism more than day-to-day details. LeBron's career, still unfolding, doesn't benefit from that same selective memory. LeBron's leadership style also differs from past icons. He often directs teammates vocally, orchestrates offense, and manages pace rather than relying solely on constant physical intensity. That approach can be effective, but it looks different from the relentless, aggressive styles fans associate with earlier legends. Visual differences often shape emotional responses more than results. There is also the issue of how championships are perceived. LeBron's titles came across different franchises, while Jordan's and Kobe's were concentrated with one team. Some fans value adaptability and versatility, while others prioritize continuity and loyalty. These preferences influence how legacy is framed. None of this erases LeBron's accomplishments. It simply explains why reactions to him are more divided. His career represents transition, not just in playing style, but in how the NBA itself operates. Looking ahead, LeBron's eventual retirement will likely be met with a mix of appreciation, debate, and reflection. Some arenas will celebrate him warmly. Others will treat his final appearances as regular games. That variation isn't a failure of respect. It's a reflection of his unique career path. What remains consistent is his influence. Players, executives, and fans will continue to measure longevity, versatility, and career control against the standard he set. Even those who criticize aspects of his approach acknowledge the scale of his impact. In that sense, moments like Jalen Tyson's comment become part of a larger story. They mark the passing of eras, the rise of new